tell me the story of how this all came about to the point where we're now seeing demonstrations across the entire country, and people are organizing and speaking out and becoming more militant in their
Yeah.
resistance to what is happening to your country.
So as we were watching the videos of the busloads of people being brought into the country and the country already being full with no hotels left, um, and starting to watch them being put into these like kind of just big warehouse kind of buildings. Um, People were getting hurt on the street, women were getting raped, people were going missing. A lot of that is really happening. I've been working on a case myself with a girl who's after being raped, and it's leading into a whole sex ring that's going on up there between the migrants in Dublin. It's very serious. From what I know, there's at least two girls a day getting raped up there. That there's more, I'd say. It's more. It's being, and these girls that are trying to come forward are being censored. So to that censorship is it's making people rise up,
Mm.
you know,
Because
and
it's so obvious, isn't it, that it's
it's
being
so
censored?
obvious, it's so obvious. And it's the sad thing that got us up is the rape that's happening and being completely ignored by those in government, because they're coming in and they're completely unvetted. They're coming in and they're not even coming in with a passport. They don't need a passport to come into this country.
Th-
We
They throw
believe that
they
they're
throw them
Indian.
away, don't they? Don't they throw them away before they arrive?
Well, yeah, they have. I don't know. I think that's what they're doing in anyway. But they don't need a passport, and they're emptying prisons. These are prisoners that are coming in here. I don't see much military men because they're so disobedient that they can only come from a prison. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
That's the kind of fruits I'm seeing. But I could be wrong. It could be both prisoners, military men, but it's all men. There's no women or children
And
that are
what
coming.
kind of men abandon their women and children in a war-torn country? What type of men are they?
What kind of man abandons their country?
No, but abandons their wife and child in that war-torn
Exactly.
country. That's even worse, isn't it? So,
But you see,
all we're
they're
seeing is
coming
these
here.
men. Sorry, go
They're
on.
coming here. They know they can go straight down to the social welfare office. They know they can get up to nearly €200 a week. They know that they can get everything thrown at them. They be put into a hotel. I mean, why wouldn't you come here? You can't get a holiday for that. You can't get a holiday. You can't book a holiday and say, right, we don't need money when we get there. The money will be supplied.
Mm,
Because that's what they're doing. They're coming here for an all-inclusive paid holiday where they
mm.
get the money put into their pocket. And that's exactly what it is. These are coming here with the best of runners, the best of phones, the best of everything they're coming here with. And we, the government, when we're trying to get something, we're told we've no money.
Mm. So what kicked it off then? It was the East Wall, wasn't it?
East Wall
So
kicked it off.
what was the flashpoint? What was it that created that uprising where people said, "No more,
It
this is
was
it."
enough.
Where
They were putting people into East Wall by the bus loads, and the people of East Wall was watching it happen before their eyes, and they rose up to push it back. They were getting out then every night. And then there's another good friend of mine, his name is Graham Carey, and a girl was raped. Me and Graham, we done a lot of work together. We were outside 𝗕𝗤𝗥𝗧's house and all that stuff together. And another ultimate warrior, let me call him, he really is. He was helping a girl who was raped in Finglas, and he was getting hundreds of people together. And he was mean in business. He was mean in business, but they took him out of the game. They have him completely banned now from social media. They're trying, coming after him that way. And all he was doing was trying to help a girl who was raped. So, and it's things like that are happening. But more groups, I mean, since then, we have a protest this Saturday at the GPO at 1 o'clock. I'm representing Blanchardstown. We have Coolock, we have Clondalkin, we have Ballyferma, we have all these. I mean, every group around Dublin is coming together this Saturday, you know,
mm.
and
Is
it's
this going to
really
be the
amazing.
biggest one to date?
I don't know. I don't
No,
know. I don't know. It could be. It could
because
be.
what?
We've had a
Because
This year. We've had a couple of really big ones this year. At every protest that we've had thousands. But you won't, the mainstream media, they won't come near me. They won't come extra near me. They won't name me in the paper anymore
No.
because of the work I'm doing.
Yeah, they want you to be a
Honestly,
persona non grata, don't they? Yeah.
yeah.
But so one of the ways we connected is that I was inspired by this story, decided to do a section on one of my live streams about the situation in Ireland.
Mm.
And then I put that out. And I put that out on the same day as the uprising in Knowsley, just by pure coincidence, right? And I'm from Kirby, which is within Knowsley. And the resistance was that the Kirby community had enough of this forced migration being imposed upon them without being asked, without it being put to the electorate. Right?
Yeah,
It's non-democratic, therefore it's tyranny. If it's being forced upon us against our will, it's tyranny, and we have every right to repel and
we do.
rebel
It's a
against that.
duty. It's a
It's a
duty.
duty. It's an absolute duty,
It's
right?
a
Because
duty.
for every right, there's also a duty. You don't
Yeah,
just get rights willy-nilly. You have to fight for those rights, and that's part of your duty as a man,
it
to
is.
stand up and resist what's going on. So the people of Kirby rose up on the same day as I released that video, which was just such a crazy coincidence for me. And it was a really powerful, potent moment in the struggle. And okay, a police van got put on fire, which a lot of people are saying was set up by the police in order to create bad press. And if you look at the story, there is actual credibility to that, because the police never abandon police vehicles. They don't abandon them and leave all the doors open, right?
Only when you
So
want something done.
only when they want something, right? So that happened, and because I've been doing this for a while, and you have too, is that I knew what would happen next. I knew the playbook that the
Yeah,
government would use, or the state, the
yeah,
regime would use against the people of Kirby. And it was almost to the letter. Said they're going to call you far right the next day. And that's exactly what happened in lockstep. You had the media come out, the local newspaper, you had the local MP, you had Jeremy Corbyn, right? And anyone else that wanted to jump on the bandwagon. And some of the actual community who had also been primed all started to go, far right, far right, far right, or shame on you. Basically, it's just a new form of heresy, isn't it?
yeah,
And that's what
yeah,
they were
yeah.
saying, shame on you.
It is. Yeah, it
And
is.
it worked. It
But
was an effective,
that's the Marxist infiltration, though.
yeah, 100%. But it worked against the community, unfortunately. And that phase of the uprising was squashed, because the next week there was meant to be another protest, and nobody turned up because nobody wanted to take that kind of heat. In Ireland, you faced the same, in that you had 𝗕𝗓𝗣𝗍𝗪, the prime minister, or the 𝗕𝗓𝗪, as you call him, but it's not prime minister, it's the president, isn't it? He came out and said the same thing against the Irish people, calling them far
Yeah.
right and racist, in order to squash the rebellion. But that doesn't seem to have worked in Ireland. It seems as if, you've continued to struggle despite the smears that are being thrown against you. What's your take on that?
Well, I think he's just come out. Nobody believes a word out of his mouth anymore. We're so sick of him and his antics of what he's done to this country. He's no love for this country. He's been completely anti-Irish, and we see through it now. We
Mm,
see through it. He really doesn't like this country whatsoever, and he doesn't like the Irish people. He's really put the foot down. He's not taking control. Like the cancer, everything that's gone running rampant in this country, he hasn't taken care of one thing. He's only taking care of Ukrainians and everybody else that's come into this country. That's his first priority. You
mm,
know, if you are not an LGBT supporter, he's not on your side, and that is the way it is right now with him. But people see through it. I mean, just before he's on his third term now, and he was never voted in. Never voted in, but yet he's on his third term. And just before he took his third term, he was caught in a nightclub, um, cheating on his husband, kissing another fella in a pub. You know, and this is all on video. Just before he went in and took the office, and it was a setup, a complete setup. And it was a setup and another attack on marriage, because anybody before that was caught having an affair outside their marriage in government, they lost their job. But for
they
somehow,
still do. They
but
still do if they're
somehow,
straight, don't they? But it seems that
yeah,
he's a protected class. Yeah.
but because it's 𝗕𝗓𝗣𝗍𝗪, he cheated on his husband, he gets promoted.
Wow. Yeah.
This all goes back to, you know, you sent me the video, I actually watched that, and it was brilliant
Mm,
about how they use the lowest in society, like, the you know,
mm, mm.
to lift them up and to put the foot on the intelligent people and give them no voice. And that's
Bio-Leninism, it's called. It's a
what all
theory
that's
of, yeah, it's a theory of how these financial elites are controlling our governments and our government institutions and our cultural
yeah,
institutions is by elevating, people who
yeah,
shouldn't be elevated, and
but that's what we're
therefore
seeing.
the elevation of these
Mm,
people commands absolute loyalty to the party and they will do
exactly.
whatever they're told, regardless of who it
That's
offends.
exactly what we have there, and that's
Mm,
exactly what we have, you know? So, nobody is happy with Leo Varadkar. Absolutely nobody in this country. The only reason why he's in there is because he's being put there. He doesn't have a vote to back up. He doesn't
mm.
have it. So that's why we don't listen to him. And that's grown massively. You know, it's grown massively. And we're making sure that we're at the front spear, making sure that that grows, because we have to get them out. We really do. You know,
Don't you
we
have
have
don't you have a similar problem in Ireland that we have in England? Whereas, okay, the Tories are the worst criminal operation we've seen in a while, and they deserve to be chased not only out of office, out of the damn country. Right? But the
yeah,
problem is that all they're going to be replaced with is Keir Starmer's Labour Party, which is just Tony Blair version 2. He literally
they
works for
need to
Tony
be
Blair.
on
So
trial for war crimes.
yeah, so this is a big problem that we've got is that our political system, not never mind just the party that's in power currently. In Ireland, you've got a problem with Sinn Féin, which is meant to be, the voice of the people.
We have a very, very big problem with Sinn Féin. They have sold us out a long time ago now, over 60, 70 years. They've infiltrated by the Marxist agenda, taken over, disbanded. And Sinn Féin is pretty much the same. They're all globalist leaders. They're all part of the WEF. You know, they're all part of that. They want open borders, Irish out, immigrants in. That's their motto to me,
Mm.
and it's been like that since the abortion referendum here. They've just wanted to kill us every step of the way. They've
I mean,
become
they really
traitors.
do. It is genocide and it is ethnic cleansing.
Yeah,
Make no mistake
it is.
about it.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Even though that's
exactly.
powerful, evocative language, it's
But
true.
it's
That's
the
what's
truth.
going on.
It is the truth, and it is
Mm.
hard to say. And for anybody that's listening to this, and mightn't understand it, this is what's really happening, and it's happening at such a fast rate. We're being targeted in the womb. We're being targeted in the schools. We're being targeted in our doctors. I mean, there's not. We're being targeted in the churches. There's nowhere we can go. There's no safe place right now that you can go to, and it's all a plan on this depopulation.